going to quickly cut across to Digvijaya Singh yet again, senior Congress leader, as he speaks as part of the Bharat Jodo Yatra that's entered the Kashmir Valley. Once again, questioning the Pulwama strikes, asking the government for proof on the Pulwama attack. Here's what he said. Listen in.
पुलवामा की घटना हुई, 40 से ज्यादा हमारे सीआरपीएफ के लोग मारे गए। क्यों मारे गए? सीआरपीएफ के लोगों ने, डायरेक्टर ने मांग की थी कि ये सेंसिटिव जोन है, इन सीआरपीएफ के जवानों को हवाई जहाज से श्रीनगर से दिल्ली भेजा जाए, लेकिन मोदी जी ने मना कर दिया। क्यों मना कर दिया? पुलवामा, जो कि पूरे तरीके से टेररिज्म का एक केंद्र बन चुका है, वहां हर गाड़ी की चेकिंग होती है। वहां एक स्कॉर्पियो गाड़ी उल्टी दिशा से आती है, उसकी जांच पड़ताल क्यों नहीं हुई? और जांच पड़ताल भी नहीं हुई और उसके बाद वो आके टकराती है और हमारे 40 सीआरपीएफ के जवान शहीद हो जाते हैं। आज तक उस घटना की जानकारी न संसद में उन्होंने पेश की, न जनता के सामने रखी। सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक की बात करते हैं कि हमने इतने लोग मार गिराए, लेकिन प्रमाण कुछ नहीं, केवल झूठ का पुलंदा से ये राज कर रहे हैं।
Well, that's Digvijay Singh. Nearly 3 years after Pulwama surgical strikes, you have the senior Congress leader reiterating the same point. First, Rahul Gandhi asked the same question, show us proof to the Pulwama strike. And then you have Digvijay Singh echoing the same while his Bharat Jodo Yatra enters the Jammu and Kashmir Valley. And this, Gaurav, is being said by the Congress right amid a time when we're seeing targeted killings of Kashmiri Pandits. We're seeing terror attacks extensively in just the last few months itself. While the Bharat Jodo entered itself, we heard of twin attacks, terror strikes in the Kashmir Valley. And while we see terrorists indulging in such activity, here's a question put forth by the Congress Neta on give us proof on 2019's Pulwama.
So there are two aspects to what Digvijay Singh is saying and very serious points that he's raising. One, when you know that Pulwama is a hotbed of terror, why weren't the Jawans airlifted? That's point one. Point two, how is it that on that highway, which is sanitized, why was a Scorpio permitted to come, according to Digvijay Singh, from the opposite side and target a CRPF vehicle in which 40 CRPF personnel were killed in February 2019? And the third part, that the government claims a surgical strike was carried out, but no proof has been given of surgical strikes. Now, as we wait for a response from the government, of course, politically there's been a response from the Bharatiya Janata Party, but since we covered the Pulwama terror attack on ground zero and of course the subsequent airstrikes, we were in Srinagar when the government officially announced that Balakot airstrikes had taken place. In fact, even before the government announced, Major General Asif Ghafoor, the spokesperson of the Pakistan Army, made the announcement that Indian Air Force fighter jets had crossed. So, that was proof that actually came from the adversary or the enemy. But I have BJP's IT cell head and co-in charge of Bengal, Amit Malviya, joining me on the broadcast. Amit Malviya, Digvijay Singh, one of the senior most Congress leaders, says, where is the evidence of surgical strike or airstrike? BJP only lies about it to win elections.
Gaurav, it's unfortunate that the Congress continues to rake up this issue and question our armed forces. Let's not forget that they raked up and fought the 2019 general election, questioning these surgical strikes, and the people of this country responded to them adequately. Secondly, these strikes were announced by the military leadership after they were successfully executed. And therefore, to raise questions on these surgical strikes is questioning the integrity of the Indian armed forces, their valor, and the operation that they undertook. Now, look at America, for instance, where Obama came out and announced that Osama bin Laden was killed. Nobody raised a question. But here you have a situation where even though the army announces the operation and the successful completion of it, you have the opposition continuously raking it up. Therefore, it is quite obvious that the Congress wants to weaken India, demoralize the armed forces, and speak the same language as the Pakistan's deep state.
Sir, that's a very grave allegation that you level, that the Congress party is speaking the same language of Pakistan deep state. But what prevents the Narendra Modi government from putting evidence out in public domain as the opposition or as Digvijay Singh wants? That's point one. And point two, he's saying what happened to the Pulwama inquiry? Why was that never made public?
Gaurav, the evidences are out there for people to see. The country under whose territory the terrorists were operating were taken out. They have come out and admitted to the surgical strike. What more evidence do you want? There have been multiple reports which have been published by several security agencies of the world, and they have all pointed out to the kind of casualty that we inflicted on the terror launch pad. Now, given the overwhelming evidence that is available, the fact that the Indian Army announced the operation and its successful completion, what more proof is left other than to take these questioning opposition leaders to the same place where the surgical strike happened, which is across the border?
Okay, but the fact that the Congress asked this question in 2019, the fact that this Congress continues to ask this question in the run-up to 2024, what does the BJP make of this? Because, you know, many argue that there are many unanswered questions. While the BJP government may have reaped rich dividends politically, won the 2019 elections, security in Jammu and Kashmir, Digvijay Singh asks, is still a major issue. The Kashmiri Pandits are yet to get back to the valley, sir.
There was a time when we had bomb blasts in running trains, in buses, in every city of this country, from Mumbai to Pune to Hyderabad to Delhi to Varanasi, you name it. From those days to now, when there is absolute peace and these terror elements are being nipped in the bud, we've obviously come a long way. The Congress cannot imagine secure India, and they continue to make these statements to appease a section of the society for their votes, and it's quite evident, and that's why they speak the same language as the Pakistani establishment does. I don't think this idea is lost on anybody. People who are watching what the Congress is doing, the statements that their leaders are making, know exactly why these statements are being made, and the fact that India is safe and secure in the last 8 years is also something that hasn't been spoken about. I mean, let's not forget, 26/11 happened under the UPA, and there is huge evidence to suggest that they were at sea. They did not know how to handle the situation, and they never pursued it. There are officers, senior officers of the Air Force and the Army, who've come out and said that they were ready for surgical strikes, but the political leadership just did not have the stomach to take the fight to its logical conclusion. But Prime Minister Modi has shown that grit and determination, and the Congress naturally continues to be uneasy with the idea of a strong and resurgent India.
Okay.
All right. Amit Malviya, thank you very much for joining us on that.